So we don't have a chat, and Marco cannot connect to Meet Echo.
Okay, yeah, sorry for that. I didn't know that we will have chat offline. I think, yeah, I'm learning. But I think I will write the secretariat after this meeting and ask to create a chat for us, since I think we don't have, because we are not working group, but well, for next time, hope we have one.
Sorry, is this a new thing since 1.18 or?
I think for IoT directorates, yes, as far as I know, we couldn't use before the data tracker meetings tabs. Based on my understanding, it's like that. But well, now we know that we have this issue, and hopefully next time will be fixed. So
Yeah, sorry, I missed the 1.18. So that was still WebEx back then, or?
was WebEx, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Is the recording is out there? Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, I think we can start. I will proceed to share the screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so welcome to the IoT Directorate pre-IETF meetings. Please know that this meeting is aligned with the note wells. We are not going to read it, but please read it well. This draft agenda, we are to first introduce a reminder of for the IoT Directorate reviewers. Then we go to an overview of the IETF and IRTF working groups and research groups. And then if there is new plan activities, IoT activities, and if someone else wants to provide some updates on others' SDOs, that will be very nice. Some comments on this agenda? Okay. So just in case that we cannot drop the names, please add your name here as attendees. So, Ari, do you want to proceed?
Sure. Thank you, Ines. So just a quick reminder about the directorate reviews. And as you know, like the reviews of IETF and IRTF documents with IoT concepts are one of the key tasks that we have at the directorate. And what we have noticed among chairs is that when we request for reviews from the directorate members, sometimes we do get this answer based on, hey, sorry, I'm not expert on this topic of the draft, so can you please assign someone else? Of course, sometimes that's a valid answer, but we think it's worth reminding that you don't need to be an expert on the specific topic, or even particularly well informed beyond a regular IETF attendee about that specific topic. You are here because of the IoT expertise. So when you're asked to do a review of the document, you can do a general review of the whole document if you wish, but your point is really to focus on the IoT related aspects of that draft. And because all of you, of course, do have IoT expertise, that's why you are part of the directorate, so that shouldn't be that much of an issue. So, of course, we chairs, we do usually try to assign those reviews based on who we think would have also, more domain knowledge of those documents. But oftentimes we do notice that, okay, either that persons or persons are already authors of the document, or they have been actually already active participants in the work, and perhaps not a best candidate therefore for a review for another opinion. So often we do basically a best effort assignment. We think, okay, this person perhaps next in the line would be the right person to review. And when that happens to you, when you do get a document that doesn't fit your expertise, don't worry. The right approach probably would be that read it as generalist, but when you find the IoT specific focus, think it from IoT point of view and really focus your review on those aspects. Any questions or comments from the directorate on this topic? Okay, so if no any comments, yeah, just keep in mind that for the next time you get assigned, and of course do reach out to us to chairs if you have any further questions or comments on the topic, or we can also discuss in the mailing list if you want to somehow adjust our process here. Thanks. Back to you, Ines.
Thank you, Ari. Okay, we proceed with the reviews of the IETF and IRTF working groups. So 6-ish is closed. So for next time, this is the last time that will be displayed here. Next time will be deleted for next time. Then 6-low, Carl Sueta.
Okay, hello. 6-low will meet in the next IETF. Currently, we have 4 working group documents. One has been submitted to the ISG for publication. It's the IPv6 ND multicast address listener registration, for which we have recently received a couple of reviews from the general area and transport area. And then there are 3 other working group documents which are in earlier stages, which are path-aware semantic addressing for LLMs, which has been updated since the last IETF. Also updated is the transmission of SHIC compressed packets over 15.4 networks. By the way, recall that SHIC is the main product of the LP1 or now SHIC working group. And also there's the IPv6 ND prefix registration draft, which has been updated, but mostly has been refreshed. And there are 2 other individual documents that will be presented as well in Brisbane. First is generic address assignment option for 6LoWPAN ND. This is related with the path-aware semantic addressing document, and the transmission of IPv6 packets over short-range optical wireless communication, which is actually IPv6 over 802.15.7, which is a technology for visible light communication.
Great, thank you very much. Comments or questions for Carl? Okay, thank you. Ace, Longanade team. Okay. Anima, Turles.
Yep. So let me see what I was writing. Right. So yeah, we'll have a 1-hour slot in Brisbane. So we've been since 1.18 continuing to work through GitHub and weekly site meetings on the active working group drafts and close significant number of issues. And then, of course, unfortunately, new issues are opening up from reviewers and from our own view of the world. And so these drafts have kind of, because of dependencies with authors, become our next cluster, even though it's now not in RFC editor. So we've got the Bruschi alternative enrollment protocols other than EST. We've got the additional enrollment option through a manually managed intermediary, an agent to enroll these IoT devices. And then we've got the constrained version of Bruschi with voucher and the joint proxies. And that all culminates into the RFC 8366 bis, which is our draft for the data model of our enrollment artifact, the voucher. So in addition, we've kind of moved all this discovery with the DNS and GRASP and CBOR out into a new draft. We adopted, haven't posted yet. That was just shortly after the deadline for 119. And we've passed 3 of the documents to the area director. So that's, of course, also a little bit delayed because of Rob Wilton retiring from the role voucher, cloud, and the GRASP distribution. There's one more document we'll need to talk about with the authors. So yeah, we have limited attendance locally in Brisbane. So we're probably going to ask the working group if we should have another interim, maybe at the end of April, so that it can still be determined through the execution of Brisbane, if that makes sense, to get more people from the working group to discuss. And yeah, so I mean, as an example of the bigger open issues is that we were one of the, I think the first one that was trying to use Yang for modeling not a management plane API, but a digital artifact, the voucher, and that doesn't seem to have catched on so far. I think we've identified only one other draft that's trying to do this. So we're still missing in the industry any of the tools to automatically convert Yang into the JSON or CBOR that we want. So one of the painful discussions is whether we're going to rewrite the draft to use instead CDDL as the spec language instead of Yang. So hopefully I'll get some good opinions about that in Brisbane.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Turles, comments, questions? Okay. SDF, Michael, Niklas? Anyone else have some comments on this SDF?
Yeah, just quickly mentioning that the main product of the working group has completed the post-working group last call processing and should be shipped to the ISG any day now. And with us having our current charter completed, of course, the next question is rechartering. We probably will talk about that in Brisbane, but we also have an interim focused on that for April.
Great, thank you very much. Karsten, could you continue? Sibor? Sorry, Sibor.
Yes. Hello, this is Christian. Yes, CIBOR will meet in Brisbane. And there's something that I'd like to invite many of you to. That is, we have a 90-minute slot, and we are dedicating the first 30 minutes of that to doing something more tutorial-ish, because a lot of tools are coming up, or mechanisms that can be used are coming up for CIBOR to use CIBOR in documents. So if you're even if you don't have strong opinions on the details of CIBOR, but you're using it in your specifications, please drop by. And of course, we also have interim meetings, and those will continue in the time between the meetings. There are a few documents that we have around, especially because we are trying to do things in kind of small chunks that do one thing right. Time tag is close to completion in the RC editor queue, or is in the RC editor queue. 3 documents mostly on grammar stuff are still in another working group last call, but will probably go to the ISG because some of them are just in there because the main grammar changed. So I prefer to working group last call that again. And then we have a few clusters of documents. So for example, we do have a packed CIBOR that is now about feature complete in terms of how are things used. So that should be approaching working group last call soon. We have a whole topic on serialization determinism, where one item is to have a common encoding, and building on that, there's an application profile that that users might opt into. Work on CDDL is ongoing just as well. So there is the part that there's one part that is approaching completion in the working group. So the working group last call documents contain a lot of CDDL. Modules will need probably one more round for the authors, but then this will also be one of the tools that you can use when using CIBOR in your own documents. And then that CDDL ancillary block shown here contains a few more documents that are in the pipeline towards becoming possible working group items. And then we have, of course, not only the work on the language itself, but also on applications, where DNS serialization is an active working group item, and also other working groups, for example, core and int area, are using CIBOR and specifying tags and using formats. That's about where we are. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christian. Comments or questions? Okay. Cor, Karsten, Marco, Jaime.
Hi, this is Marco. So we have 2 documents very close to publication now, both with the editor. Target address being with the editor for a while, but is now waiting for a tool issue to be solved, while core seed from the core conf cluster is really in edit state. And then we have a document that recently entered ISG review and is scheduled for, I think, the first telechat right after Brisbane. In the working group, we also have a number of advanced documents still waiting for Shepherd write-up, Oscar Group Common Young Library, and 4 more that completed their working group last call. And 2 of them, Core Comma and Core href, are expected to get into a second one soon. But selecting some major work happened in working group documents in the last period. Documents from the core con cluster for completed core seed and advancing core comma, advancing href already mentioned above, close to get into a second working group last call. the protocol kudos for updating key material for OSCORE, and another document adopted last year on OSCORE used not only in presence of proxies but at proxies, which in turn includes the possible protection of the same co-op message with multiple OSCORE layers. We also have 2 new working group documents, one adopted end of last year, GroupCon proxy, on using proxies specifically when you use co-op for group communication. And OSCORE ID update is the result of a split out from key update for OSCORE above on a specific streamlined protocol for updating the identifiers in OSCORE. Other than documents, there has been a recent discussion started by Karsten in the core mailing list, pointing in turn to a discussion restarted in HTTP BIS on link local names that can have implications for discovery for constrained devices. And we quickly discussed that also at the latest core interim meeting. So if you're interested on the topic on using MDNS for discovery, for no discovery, please check the discussion and contribute. We used to have regular meetings or design team meetings, interim meetings, and we'll meet in Brisbane for a 2-hour session. And after that, we plan to resume with interim meetings regularly in mid-April, and then every 2 weeks until ITF 120. And that's about it.
Great, thank you very much, Marco. Comments or questions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Kose, there are some chairs, Matthew, Mikael, Ivalo, or someone else has comments on Kose that want to share? No? Okay, we proceed with DetNet. Lo, Janos? Or someone that want to provide some comments on DetNet? Okay. IoT Ops, Alexei, Henk? Okay, someone that want to provide comments on IoT Ops? Okay. For Lake, Melissa, Stephen? Someone wants to provide some comments on Lake? Okay, el week, well, was concluded in January. Someone wants to provide some notes on this?
Yeah, the one offhand document that didn't find a home yet is the 7228 BIS work, the terminology for constrained node networks. And we have a new draft that is already in a state where we could ship it, but maybe we want to take a little bit more input. And we are looking to put this into IoT Ops. Right now, the updated draft is not out there because of some data tracker hiccup. It was submitted in time, but data tracker didn't like the fact that A-Week is closed. Yeah, I think we will discuss this in the working group meeting. But there's lots of other interesting stuff in IoT Ops, so please go there.
Okay, thank you very much, Karsten.
Hey, just a point on that one. A reminder that area directors can override the timeline, the publication thing. So if things got stuck, talk to your AD.
Yeah, it's before the L directors right now, but I can imagine they are very busy at the moment. So it's queued up for review by the L directors according to data tracker.
Yeah, that might be worth a quick note, just to let. Yes, they might be busy, but you want to have the documents out as early as possible.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Elliot and Karsten. Additional comments? Okay, Rats, Kathleen, Nancy, Ned. Someone want to provide additional comments on Rats? Okay, Rao was concluded, and that
Hey, can I just add something in the RATS department?
Yes.
There's currently an independent submission for ARMS architecture as a RATS extension. It's never too late for reviews to come in for that. It is, let me give you the URL for it. I'll put it in the, oh, I can't put it in the chat. The chat's down, at least for me. But if people are interested, they can contact the independent submissions editor if they'd like to review, and I would love to have reviews. Thank you.
Could you add into the notes, please, instead of the chat?
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you for that idea.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Elliot. Additional comments? Okay, so the continue with Rao, as we said, that Net took the work from Rao. So for Rao, we will not meet next IETF, but we have regular interim meetings. We try to have them every 2 months. Next interim will be in April, May, based on the doodle. And then for our work, ODB Ripple and our projections were submitted to the ISG. And then the work in progress, we have RNFD, MOPEX, NC extensions, enrollment priority. We are looking for reviewers for enrollment priority. So if you want to review it, please let us know. So that is for all. Comments or questions? Okay. Chic, Alexander, Pascal. Someone, yes.
Yeah, perhaps I can give a few comments on that.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so Chic is not meeting in Brisbane, but plans to continue with bi-weekly interims. There are a few active working group documents, and one item of discussion has been the Chic architecture draft, where now there are concepts like a Chic session and a Chic header being discussed. And recently, there's a couple of recently adopted working group documents. One is a protocol number for Chic, and the other one is Chic for ICMP.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Carlos. Additional comments or questions? Yes, Elliot?
Not for this, but in between Chic and Skit, there's Skim. And I don't know that we have anybody from Skim in terms of the chairs on board. Skim is a system for cross-identity management. And in there's draft IETF Skim devices, which extends the cloud-based provisioning from just users to now devices as well. That document is already a working group document and is getting on. It's probably heading towards working group last call in the next month or two.
Great, thank you very much for letting us know. So we will invite the chairs to these regular meetings and add it to the template. Thank you very much. Additional comments on Skim or Chic? Okay. The next one, SIT, Supply Chain Integrity, Transparency, and Trust. Hannes, John?
Well, I can only contribute that they like to be called SKIT.
Okay, great, thank you. Additional comments? Okay. Sweet, David?
So I don't see David here, so I'll just step in. This is Russ. Take Dave Thaler off there. He is no longer chair. Dave retired, for those of you who don't know. And so he stepped down from all of his leadership roles. Anyway, I stepped down from chair one meeting cycle before Dave did, and now Dave Thaler did, and now Dave Waltermeyer is single chair. He's really close to finishing everything. As I put the status in the write-up of each of the documents, all of them are in working group last call or later, except for one, and that one, once it passes working group last call, they'll be able to send all of the documents to the ISG.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Russ, for the update. Additional comments or questions? Okay. Tip, Tiru, Nancy. Someone wants to provide some comments on Tip? Okay. So for the RTF work research groups, Coin, Jeffrey, Eve, Marie Jose. Someone wants to provide some information on Coin? Okay. Things to see research group, Ari, Karsten.
I can comment from here. So the plan is not to have a usual meeting in the next IETF. However, we do plan to meet at IETF 121 and also discussing if we should have a meeting in 120. And we do have this time a physical interim meeting coming on IoT security topics. It's going to be in Paris on May 21st and 22nd, co-located with a hackathon on lightweight IoT security that is hosted by INRIA. And you will find more information and registration link in the meeting notes. The registration is now open, as usual, free of charge. Also, remote participation possible. So if you are interested on that topic, please do join us. On the documents for Things RG, one of our documents, the IOTH challenges and functions, is currently at the RFC editor queue. We do have 3 research group drafts which had minor updates over the last few months. The application attacks using co-op, the taxonomy of operational security considerations for manufacturing installed keys and trust anchors, and also their guidance on RESTful design for IoT systems. And we do have a 4th document that is being developed that doesn't get updated for this round, the bootstrapping security for IoT. And that's all for Things in RG.
Great, thank you very much, Ari. Additional comments or questions? Okay, thank you. So now about the new plan ITF and IRTF activities, IoT activities. Do you have some information that you want to share? Yes, Ari?
So actually, at this segment in particular, would be great to get all of your insights, because perhaps there are BOPs or site meetings or such that are not widely known. Would be great to hear if you know of anything happening, either in Brisbane or between the meetings. I guess this is one of those useful segments that we can provide added value here in the directorate. So please, anything, go ahead and comment now, or can also write later in the notes.
So I'll mention one thing. We're trying to have a site meeting on Thursday in the morning on enterprise, and to me, all the enterprises that are active are kind of struggling to find, their common design criteria between, what's evolving in their OT space and their established IT space, right? I think we're seeing that in MOPS, where you typically also don't have the division. I'm not sure if we're calling a MOPS network with all that video equipment an IoT network. I mean, for us, IoT typically came from the lower end battery-driven stuff, but expanding more into IoT, these networks that have big campuses, manufacturing, and so on. So that's why we're also trying to explore that under the umbrella of what do operators that call themselves enterprises see as overall network challenges. I'd be very surprised if that not very much relates to their IoT usage.
Thank you, Torres. This sounds very interesting. Do you have a link for more information?
Yeah, I'll add it. Yeah, just
Perfect.
the normal site meeting room at 8 a.m. in the morning, and we'll just make it very open invite to say, if you're calling yourself an enterprise, what's your challenges in the IETF? What would you like to see us do better on that? And yeah, if that turns out not to be IoT related, sorry for bringing it up here, but as I said, right, I mean, all the people I've talked to, that was.
So the title is Enterprise Network.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Additional comments or questions? Okay, is now next topic will be if someone wants to share about the other IoT SDOs that you may have information about.
Not exactly SDO, but there is a cost action research thing starting on next generation networks and their security. I'm in there. I'm trying to represent kind of to bring in IETF experience in order to avoid inventing things anew. I'll post a link to what we have already. Not sure if that's relevant precisely here.
That would be great. Thank you very much, Christian. Very nice. Additional comments? Okay, if we don't have additional comments, I think we can conclude the meeting. Thank you very much for your assistance. This recording will be available in YouTube. We will let you know. So thank you very much and have a nice day and safe trip to the IETF.
Thank
Great.
you for
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks to all note takers.
Safe travels.
Yeah. Thank you very much to all note
Bye.
takers. Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.